Hey guys, so I started a story time like last week on Jᴏ and I think my phone didn't get it all, or I deleted it before it got into my computer. I don't know, I don't care. It's just not there now. All I got is like the intro to it. So when you see me in two different outfits, that's why. So I've explained the situation and bam. I am gonna be in and out of this video because I'm currently cooking breakfast and there's really not any time like that I can have to myself to tell my stories without dogs running around, spouse screaming and yelling, and kids throughout my house. So I have to get it where I can get it, y'all. So anyways, let's get started. Jᴏ back in 2013. My reason to go into Jᴏ was I was a single mom. I was 22, I believe, 23, somewhere in there. Probably almost 24. But I was a single mom of 2 kids. I was on my second child. And I was not good at keeping jobs or place or car or paying bills. So my mom's friend suggested, she was like, hey, Connie, you should see if Sadie wants to try out Jᴏ. They have a place she can stay. They pay her weekly. They have a place where her and the girls can stay. So my mom took it and she gave me the information. Probably about a week later, I went into, where did I go? Unemployment office is where you go to sign up when I went to Jᴏ. So I went to the unemployment office, I applied, got approved. They have several different locations in the United States, several. And I think they had like 3 or 4 locations in Georgia, maybe 5, I'm not sure. So I was excited. I wanted to go, never had an experience away from home like that, other than being put out for being in trouble. But like, I thought it'd be like a college experience. So I thought, yes, Jᴏ, here I come. So there were several campuses, and of course, like I tell you guys, I have 2 kids. I had 2 girls at the time, still have 2 girls. Like I don't have 2 kids now, but I have 2 girls. So the problem also, because their dads wasn't around to help, was finding somebody to either watch them while I went to Jᴏ or you know, in school, or if I had to help or work or whatever. Sorry, but yeah, so I went to Jᴏ. When I talked to the lady that was helping me figure out which Jᴏ, what trade I wanted to go to, by the way, they offer several good trades. Like I said, I went to Jᴏ because I had no choice. So when we were talking about like the trades and stuff, I didn't want to do anything. Let me go back. Before we started talking about the trades, we started talking about campuses. And I let the lady know I had 2 kids, and she was like, oh, well, there's a campus in Auburn. Auburn is about 3 or 4 hours away from Atlanta. So she was like, there's a campus in Auburn. You can stay on campus. You can have your girl stay with you. It's like a mother-child type of thing. So I was like, oh, okay. But discussing it with my mom, she was not in an agreement of me taking my kids by myself to Auburn alone and no one there. My mom had some childhood trauma. That's a whole nother story. But she's very protective of her kids and her grandkids, and probably her grandkids, and when she died, they kids too. So yes. So she was not down for me to leave that far. She couldn't get to me if there was something wrong with the kids or me. She couldn't get to us. 3 hours, 4 hours. So I said it right the first time. She decided that I was going to go to Atlanta Jᴏ in Atlanta, or Jᴏ in Atlanta, Westlake. Now, if y'all look up Atlanta Westlake Jᴏ, we were hood. It looked hood. It looked like prison on the outside. Like it's just a big building. It had bars. It had a gate around it, and it was in the hood. Like, oh my God, just catch this picture down here. Just hood. Like, ridiculous. It closed down in like 2018, I believe. But don't let like the outside appearance of that building fool you, because it had a lot of great teachers, great principals, great people to motivate you to get your shit together. Like, I understood Jᴏ Cᴏ, and if I had not gone, I probably wouldn't be in the situation as far as where I am now better than I would have if I hadn't gone, to be honest with you. Jᴏ Cᴏ was a cool experience for me, like cool. But anyways, so me and my mom decided that I was gonna go to Atlanta Jᴏ Cᴏ, and she was gonna keep my kids while I lived on campus there, which was fine with me. I was 23, 24, and I had kids. I started having kids at 18. So when she said I'll take them and go be 23, 24 in Jᴏ Cᴏ, let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all, like, I was being 23, single, and no kids in Jᴏ Cᴏ. I was being everything a college kid can be that gets another chance to have a college experience. How about that? Yes. So we're gonna get into all of that into this video. But Jᴏ Cᴏ, I had absolute fun at Jᴏ Cᴏ. I met really good people. All right, Jᴏ Cᴏ, right? So when you start Jᴏ Cᴏ, you have to go to an orientation, right? So I went into this orientation, and you go with a set of people that start in the same time you said. Usually they call them your OTs, which is your original team, the people you come in with. You should be good with them because you should graduate together. That's Lexi. I got a lot of dogs here, y'all, so yeah. But you got me OT because you graduate together. Y'all are going to be in a lot of things together except for your trade classes, because not all of us are going to the same trades, by the way. So in Atlanta Jᴏ Cᴏ, they had like 4, I believe. They had HBU, which was like construction. They had culinary. They had business assistant, and mines, of course, which was CNA. And I only took CNA because I didn't see myself taking shit else. Like, I wasn't a construction worker, which I worked at a lot of warehouses, and I drove forklifts for years. I should have went to HBU, but I wasn't an HBU type of bitch. I wasn't trying to build shit, okay? Not a damn thing. A lot of girls went to HBU because, of course, the fine studs were in HBU or guys. It was either HBU or culinary that you went to if you were really boy or girl crazy. But anyways, I went and got my CNA. I stayed on campus for the whole 6 months. I stayed on the 4th floor, and let me tell y'all something. If y'all seen that picture that I just showed y'all a couple of clips back, whatever, that's like, I think it's like 6 stories or 7. There's a basement, there's a floor with classes, then it starts with the 1st floor, 2nd, 3rd. No, then it starts, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th floor. 5. Those 4 or 5 floors with dorms on top. So I stayed on the 4th floor. The 5th floor was for privileged motherfuckers, and this was the only girls stay campus. So only girls was in the building that stayed on campus. So the 5th floor was for you privileged bitches that could do right, be on time, never get in trouble throughout your whole time. I never made it to the 5th floor. I could never stay out of trouble long enough to make it anywhere near the 5th floor, okay? We'll get into that. So I stayed on the 4th floor. I'm gonna really see if I have a picture of myself before. I'm pretty sure I do. Jᴏ Cᴏ, if I do, it's gonna be right there. I don't know if I'm pointing away or pointing forward, whatever. But it's gonna be in this general direction. But I was a little over 200 pounds before I started Jᴏ Cᴏ, right? Because I had just had a second child. Wasn't my only excuse for being fat, but that's the excuse I'm gonna use. But it's on my second child, and so it was big. And I lived on the 4th floor. And I went to Jᴏ Cᴏ at Westlake. So that should tell y'all something, right? Anyways, so we had an elevator, but it either broke or bitches didn't know how to act to get from the basement to whatever floor they needed to get to. Bitches was fighting in elevators. So they made it where we couldn't get on the elevator. So we had to walk up and down stairs. So every day, let me tell you, I lived on the 4th floor. The cafeteria was in the basement. I lost weight because most of the time I was too fucking lazy to get up and go downstairs to get breakfast and then bring my ass, because you can't bring food upstairs, or to your rooms, and then bring my fat ass up 4 flights of stairs after I just ate breakfast. No, sometimes I just slept in. Sometimes me and my roommates, we were sneaky and we brought food. Like I got food stamps because I had kids, so my mom would let me get some. I would go and hook my room up with some snacks and shit. They didn't check our suitcases like that, so I just brought in a tub with the pads and stuff on top, and at the bottom, juices, snacks, crackers, chips, whatever me and my roommates could have, we had. And anyway, so it was the walking up and down 4 flights of stairs every day for me. Like, and when I mean every day, my classes were downstairs, breakfast was downstairs, to get out the building was downstairs. Any activities, fire drills, anything we had was downstairs, fine. But the problem was the bitch lived on the 4th floor, okay? So I walked up and down, up and down, up and down these stairs for 6 months. Like, honestly, I'm not as big as I was back then before Jᴏ Cᴏ, but bitch, she can find 4 flights of stairs and she has to walk up every day so I can get that weight off. But anyway, so yes, with that, I met like my first girlfriend in Jᴏ Cᴏ, and that was just a whole nother story in itself. Like, how do I even start that story off? Like, I met her, of course, in Jᴏ Cᴏ, and when I got to Jᴏ Cᴏ, because I had just had a child maybe a year ago, I was strictly dick, and couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I believe I met one of the security guards, and he was like, oh yeah, they always say that they coming in here straight as an arrow, but they be gay for the stay. Don't be like the rest of these girls in here and they be gay for the stay. And I thought, no, I'm dickified. I like to sit on it, suck on it, wiggle with it, what the fuck ever. I was just like, no, nigga, you don't know me. I got 2 kids. I made hopping on dick a profession. Like, you don't know me, so I'm not gonna go gay. Plus, I'm not eating pussy. I know what my pussy look like. I know what it sometimes. Pussy ain't always clean, people. So anybody tell you it is a liar. But I was just like, no, I'm not down for that. I'm not. Like, if somebody want to come down here and eat my twat and she got a twat, that's fine, but I'm not eating hers. And y'all, that whole situation didn't work out that way, like, at all. So anyways, I met this girl from Jᴏ Cᴏ. I met her like I don't know how long it was at Jᴏ Cᴏ. I know that we were OTs. So we came in together. So I guess that's how I met her. Like, orientations, we had you have to take like basic classes, reading, writing, math. So we had those classes together too. And we had like a project or something in one of our classes, and she was on my team. So, you know, 21st century or college kids, we all had some type of phone. So it was like, okay, we got to do this group project. It's got to be due by Friday. Most of us lived on campus with each other, or we stayed, the ones that didn't stay on campus, we stayed at the school. They stayed at the school, you know. We can hang out down in the basement or outside in the yard area, do our projects, whatever. They had study areas too. So yeah. She asked me for my number because she wanted to discuss something about the group. And me, being me, didn't think twice about it. I just figured everybody knew, hey, strictly dickly, so ain't no use of even trying over here. And prior to that, I had already been in Jᴏ Cᴏ a month. And in that, I had already slept with 3 guys. Not from Jᴏ Cᴏ, just niggas I met. It was just, I don't know. Like I said, I was out here living my best life in Jᴏ Cᴏ. So, anyways, so she got my number, and I get a text, and she told me who she was, and she asked if I like girls. And well, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know if I told her yes or no to liking girls, cause I don't know if I remember answering that question, but we became friends. We got close, we talked, and she was very hard at pursuing me. Like, she didn't make it, to me, she didn't make it any question if she was pursuing me. It was very obvious that she wanted to get with me. And I think after about 2 or 3 weeks of being dry, like, I had my fun the first month of Jᴏ Cᴏ, so there about 2 or 3 weeks of being dry, because now I'm on campus trying to get my work done, get my CNA, and I realized, like, my thoughts and minds have been on which dick I'm gonna hop on instead of school. So I had to get my mind together, so I stopped, like, going out with the girls at night from campus, because we used to party. There was like a club up the street, maybe 2 miles up the road, and we used to walk. But Atlanta used to have buses they still have buses that run all 24 hours, so you either walk or take the bus depending on what kind of money you got. But some days we walk, some days we take the bus. But I used to go out to that club. I think they called it like the Marlet. I'm not sure. I think that's the name of the club. But we used to go out. I don't even know if it's still up. Like, we used to go out there. Like, it was the place to be. That's where you went when you was a Jᴏ Cᴏ girl or guy. We all met up, drank, had fun, and partied at Marlet. So yeah, we started hanging out. Like, I was getting to know this girl. I started liking her. She was a sweet girl. Very sweet. Like, we would get $25 a week as stipend. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we would get that as part of the agreement of going to Jᴏ Cᴏ, and to have money to live off of, because some of us, me and a lot of girls there, was not working. We lived at Jᴏ Cᴏ. What's the point of working if I'm rent free, bills, y'all had TV, internet? What was the point of me working if a nigga didn't have to? So I didn't work. Anyways, they gave us $25 a week for attendance. It was like a job, really. They paid you to go to school, and $25 a week was your stipend for going to class on time, behaving, because if you didn't, they take money off. Like, I've had some broke weeks because a bitch wasn't following rules, okay? But anyways, the reason I said that was because I was trying to know how she got me, okay? Now, to a bitch with a job, $25 a week ain't shit. To a bitch without a job, it's everything. And yeah, you eat a Jᴏ Cᴏ, but they food ain't always great. So there was little stores and stuff around us. We wanted to go. There was a store called the Blue Store. It had the bomb is salads. When I say bomb, like their salads were fire. Their food was fire. And anyways, I love the Blue Store. I don't even know if it's still there. Like next time I go down, I have to check that out. But I love the Blue Store. We went there, hung out, cigarettes, whatever we needed. FYI, where I started my cigarette habit, Jᴏób Cᴏʀᴘs. I didn't start smoking cigarettes, so I went to Jᴏób Cᴏʀᴘs. But yeah, so anyways, about her. So she basically just gave me her $25 every week. Like, if I needed it, I got it. If I wanted it, I got it. Like, she was working really hard to get me, which made me feel like the shit because I was a big girl and my baby daddies were shit. So my self-esteem was already gone. And she made me feel beautiful. How about that? Like a bad bitch that she wanted to pay for constantly. There's a little more into this story of why. So, listen. So we date, or no, well, damn. So she got me. She got me. She turned me out, people. She made me a carpet muncher. Carpet muncher, get it? I heard that like, oh my God, y'all gotta watch Miss Pat. Sorry, ADHD. Anyways, so technically she did not make me a carpet muncher. She told me she was a touch me not. When we started having sex, she said that she just enjoys pleasing her girls. She gets off on pleasing her partner. She gets off on pleasing her partner. And I thought, bitch, that's the best way of being gay. Like, I ain't gotta eat no pussy. And I'm getting all the pleasure out of this. And you happy for me? That sounds wonderful. Like, great. Like, can all bitches be like you? Like, can I just get my vagina ate and you know what I'm saying? So we at this point have been going together for 3 months and it's great. Like, awesome. She was cool. We were inseparable. When I mean inseparable, we got written up. We went to student court. We fought all up and down that Jᴏ Cᴏ building. I don't even know if you could go to Jᴏ Cᴏ and not say me and my ex's name and someone not know who we were. That went when we went. And maybe even a little bit after I graduated, because she had to stay longer. We're going to get into that part of the story in a second. So, yes. So she was a great girlfriend. Sweet. But just like same-sex relationships, we bump heads a lot. Fought a lot, argued a lot. And, excuse me. Not just on her part, on mine too. Like, I never had a girlfriend before. She was my first. And if you ain't never, ever had your pussy eaten by a bitch, and you haven't eaten by a bitch for the first time, it's like having dick for the first time. It can get you off of your rocker, and the person that they gave it to you for the first time, they got your soul for a minute. Like, we dated maybe 3 years after Jᴏ Cᴏ, and it was not a great relationship, but that is a whole nother story time, y'all. So anyways, we were dating for 3 months. In the midst of these 3 months, y'all, I kid y'all not, I found out she was like 6 or 7 months pregnant. 6 or 7 months pregnant. And I know y'all thinking, bitch, how you not know your bitch pregnant? I'm a bitch, right? Like, and I've had 2 kids, you can see the signs, but she was pregnant before I met her. And then, like I told y'all, she was a touch me not. So I never really caught her naked. And we went Jᴏ Cᴏ, so it wasn't like we were just out here being sexy with each other, taking clothes off, kissing each other from head to toe. No, these were all quick interactions because we were not supposed to be in each other's room. And the only way you have sex is in a room, bathroom, private, somewhat private, right? So, yeah. Stupid me. Dumb as fuck. Been with a bitch for 3 months, didn't know she was pregnant. Anyways, now I know how a nigga feel. But I felt that she was pregnant, and at this point, y'all, she already sucked my soul, so I was in love. So we was gonna be a family. Mind you, I didn't even have my own 2 kids. I didn't have my own kids, and I'm over here trying to play stepmother to her unborn child. And the story on that will be for another story time. Like, I have some juicy stories with me and my first girl. Juicy stories. But anyways, so I found out she was pregnant. She made up this whole lie scene story that she got pregnant because her uncles were gay, which they were. And they wanted a child. So she decided to host their seed. And she was grown, and I thought, back then, not that back then was so far ago, I don't think it was as easy for LGBT plus. I know I'm forgetting, whatever. But I don't think it was as easy for them to like go adopt or find someone, a surrogate, to have a baby. They also wasn't that rich. Like, if you went to Atlanta Job Corps in Westlake, you didn't think none of us had money. None. Okay? So I assumed that that's what's true. I'd never met her family before. We was girlfriends at Job Corps. Like, so. And when I finally did, y'all, everybody act like this was true. That's a whole nother story. Like, my first girlfriend was on some weird shit. Like, completely weird shit. It's just, those probably be some good ass story time stories for y'all. But anyway, so that was the story she told me. She told me that she got pregnant for her uncle and his boyfriend or husband, whatever. And it was their baby. So at this point, I couldn't be mad at somebody who was doing their uncle a favor. And so, fine. You know what I'm saying? As time go by with this situation, I graduate Jᴏ Cᴏ. Thank you. I got my CNA. I was a licensed CNA, and I say was only because I moved to Kansas and I could not. I can, but y'all, I told y'all several times in this video, probably in several other videos, that I have ADHD, so I procrastinate, and I just ain't went and got my Kansas certification here. It ain't really been that big of a deal. But yeah, I graduated Jᴏ Cᴏ 2013 in October. That came with a lot of issues because, like I said, me and my ex were getting into a lot of trouble. And I think after like 3 write-ups, especially of getting caught in someone's room, yeah, we got caught several times. She got caught. Let's rephrase that. I never got caught in her room because I wasn't going. And I knew better. Like, if you want to risk your education to come in my room and fuck with me, that's fine. I'm not risking it for you. Like, I guess that means, like, I didn't love her like that, and I should have seen that sign. Because bitches was risking it in Jᴏ Cᴏ. Like, they were out here in each other's rooms getting caught. It'll be 2 o'clock in the morning, and you'll hear someone say, "You're not supposed to be in here, blase, blase." It could be your room, it could be you, it could be the bitch across the hall, it could be anybody, but every night someone got caught, okay? And so, the first time we got caught, we were just walking out of the room. Like, literally, walking out of my room. She got caught walking out of my room. Our hall aide, Mrs. Stanford, shout out to Miss Stanford. She did a lot of keeping me out of trouble. The reason I lasted at Jᴏ Cᴏ so long, because I should have been kicked out probably after like 2 months of dating my ex, because we were out there being ridiculous. But she kept me out of trouble, had a lot of great conversations with me in that office of hers / room, whatever. But yes, she's another person is the reason why I was able to finish Jᴏ Cᴏ. But yeah, so we got caught coming out of, she got caught coming out of my room. Was the first write-up. And it was right up on both of us because we both were coming out of my room, and it wasn't like I could say, oh, I didn't know she was in there. So write-up number 1, right? It wasn't that big of a deal. It was more of a, y'all know the rules, don't let this happen again type of thing. And just like with a job, you have to sign like a write-up paper. Say you had a conversation about the reason you got to write up, you agree to it or you don't agree to it. So yeah, first write-up. Second write-up was, yo. So after getting caught up the first time and a couple of more times before the second write-up in between, I decided to give her my room key. And these keys are not the same, they made different, only you and your roommates get them. Now you have to have roommates that agree to this. I don't know if I got my roommates agreement, but they never complained. If they did, no one told me. So shout out to my roommates, they know who they are. Paris, Renee. I know there's like one other person, because she's on my Facebook and she was cool as fuck. I just kept Tabitha. Remember your name, bitch. Tabitha. Those were my roommates. And I think we had more in between, but listen, if I don't say your name, you must have not been important to that room. But yes. So me and Renee came in together. No, we didn't come in together. Renee was already there when I got there. And we ended up sharing, like, the rooms in Jᴏ Cᴏ were like an apartment setting but without a kitchen. So like a dorm setting. There's 3 bedrooms and like a living room area. And then there was not 3 bedrooms, I'm sorry, 3 beds in a living room area with like 5 lockers. And then there's a room with 2 beds in it, you know, and then you could close the door. And that was it. And then there's a bathroom that everybody shared. So that was the situation of that. And you know, I really like didn't want to go to Jᴏ Cᴏ because I thought I've never had to roommate with anybody other than my sister, and I didn't like it. I didn't like roommating with my sister to save my life. Like, that bitch, we ain't even gonna go there. Like, I try to keep my kids from having to share rooms with each other because I get it. And I'm not even saying that my sister was dirty, because in all truth, she wasn't. I was the dirty one, but the fact that she had a problem with my dirtiness pissed me off. How about that? Okay? And I wasn't like horribly dirty, but I could live in a certain amount of feeling. And she can't. Like, if you see my house, then you see my sister's house. But that's neither here nor there. So that's how the setup of the rooms were in Jᴏ Cᴏ. And everyone in the room had a key. You get them when you get introduced to your room, hall, and such and such, and your hall monitor. So I gave her my key. This would reduce the issues of the hall aide maybe stepping out of her office or coming upstairs and coming down the hall, and my ex get caught at the door, by the door, around the door, right? So it was just simple for her to put in the key, go. And sometimes she like to sneak in the middle of the night for some cuddle time, long situation, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't doing it in her room, and I sure hell wasn't trying to stick in her room. I'm not doing that shit. Like, if you want this pussy, you come get it. You sneak your ass in here and come get it. And she did every night, faithfully. Got caught. Sometimes did not get caught, but in this particular night, she got caught. Right up number 2, and it was weird how she got caught. Like, I was asleep when we got caught. Cause I say we, but I was where I was supposed to be. She wouldn't at all. So I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the story we gave Miss Stanford, and then I'm gonna tell you the true story of how she got in there. So it was like midnight, because they do rounds. Your hall monitors to make sure these rules are being followed. Nobody's in rooms that they're not supposed to be in. That you're there by curfew, because you have a curfew to be back in. Is they come through and they do a roll check. It's very annoying. Like I said, it was like jail. Atlanta Jᴏ was like jail. Like, they come in the middle of the night with a flashlight to your face, check your name off a list to make sure you was there and in your room and in the bed. If you won, it was issue in the morning or that night, depending on where you got caught at. So I've had people get caught not being back on time. I've had people get caught with people in their rooms. But yeah, so I got caught with her in my room, in my bed, laying down, sleep, cuddle up, like that's what we supposed to be doing. Like, yeah, like no bitch. But anyways, she had my key. So Miss Stanford came in regular night, did roll call. I don't know what made her think she could come so early or so late. I don't know if Miss Stanford was doing a late roll call. I don't know what happened. It was weird, because we've done this numerous times before. So to get caught this time was really weird. So she come in, flashlight, and I hear Crawford and my ex's dad's name. And I thought, what the fuck is going on? Early in the fucking morning, in class in the morning, what the fuck you want? I roll over and look at you now. I feel the beds, they're just twin beds, but I don't know. I was sleeping. Maybe I did know she was in bed. So, boom. So I roll over, see my ex sitting there, look at Miss Stanford, bitch. And you know, we wasn't doing nothing. We wasn't doing nothing before then. We missed each other. We wanted to sleep together. So she came in over the night and laid in the bed with me. And so, of course, Miss Stanford made her leave. Told me to come to her office in the morning before I go to class. And that was that. And the story we gave Miss Stanford was that my ex stole my key off my book bag. And she decided to take it upon herself to come into my room that night and cuddle up with me. I had no idea. Now, Miss Stanford ain't dumb. I know she know better. So I'm not gonna play like that woman is dumb. So she just took it as like, whatever, if you're gonna take a shot for this. I didn't get to write up, but my ex did. And Miss Stanford told us if we got caught one more time that was it. So the last time we got caught, we were coming out of my bathroom together, and that's just explainable in itself. I don't even know why these people would just pop up. Maybe they just thought they were just popping up everywhere in my room. It was weird. So that was our third write-up, and we had to end up going to like student court or something. And kid y'all not, I was getting ready, probably maybe a week or two before my CNA test. Job Corps pays for that. If I got kicked out, they don't. And I couldn't go test with everybody that I've been in school with. Like, I was so mad. So they decided what they were gonna do was kick me out, right? My ex, because she was pregnant, she was getting ready to leave anyways. And she'd be able to return because she was younger than me. I was like 24. Or getting ready to turn 24. So you could go back in a year after you get suspended. So, or expelled. So, we got suspended or expelled. But I was right there. Like, kid you not, I was right there. I was finna go to, like, I was out the fucking door. So this last write, I didn't give a fuck, but I didn't know y'all was gonna punish me by telling me y'all wasn't gonna pay for my CNA test. I ain't got no money. Even saving up no $25. I was mad as shit. So my CNA teacher, damn, I wish I knew her name. I think, like, this is a picture of my CNA class. And somewhere in there, she has a white coat on, long straight hair wig. That was my teacher. She had so much faith in me, y'all. She helped me out getting through CNA process. She helped me because